Tuesday night on NBC saw the Dubs hold the Clippers to just 79 points. That's the lowest point total posted by a team so far this season, by far. The next lowest score posted by a team is 90 by the Pelicans. The Warriors' switch-heavy scheme with quick-footed mobile bigs like Draymond Green, Al Horford, and even second-year man out of Boston College, Quentin Post, who's been tremendous defending the interior to open the 25-26 season, makes them capable of guarding elite bigs like they haven't been able to in the past. The development of Post and the addition of Horford give Draymond a ton of help defending the interior as well as rebounding. But the Warriors' team leader in both blocks and steals is someone you may never be able to guess based off your level of ball knowledge. Stephen Curry is leading the team in both steals and blocks, but if you know ball, you know that while the Warriors often hide Stephen Curry to save his energy for offense, the man is capable of being anything but a defensive liability with his peskiness. On top of that, you've got physically capable wings like Jimmy Butler, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga, who can lock up the association's best wing talent on a nightly basis, as Kerr can turn to either one of them, specifically the young guns in Moody and Kuminga, to get a stop on an opposing team's best player. But I want to get back to Stephen Curry's impact at the point of attack and in the passing lanes, which has been elite all season. Whether it's hustling for closeouts that turn into block shots, breaking up passes on the backside with his perception and knowledge of tendencies, navigating screens by getting around them at the correct angle before trailing offensive players and causing havoc, providing double teams at timely moments to stun offensive players, blitzing the passing lanes to perfection, providing a last line of defense on the fast break to block shots, or clamping up at the point of attack before ripping it away from attackers, Stephen's energy at age 37 has been the most miraculous part of the Warriors' stifling defense so far this year. What he's doing with the amount of mileage and wear and tear he's faced across 17 seasons in the association is inspirational. We'll get back to Curry's effort and the team's defensive cohesion as a whole, but the Warriors now face an extremely tough schedule over their next 8 games. They face the Giannis-led Bucks, the Siakam-led Pacers, the Booker-led Suns, the Sabonis-led Kings, the Jokic-led Nuggets, the SGA-led Thunder, and the Wemby-led Spurs, all over the next few weeks. 6 of those games take place on the road, making the schedule increasingly difficult, and 10 of their next 12 overall come away from Chase. The Warriors must continue to stack up defensive performances like they did against the Clippers, because even though they held LA to 79, their defense after that performance still ranks just 12th in the association in terms of best defensive rating. However, from an individual standpoint, Stephen Curry's 111.4 defensive rating ranks 7th among all point guards and 4th among Western Conference guards, only trailing SGA, Stephon Castle, and Drew Holiday. That defensive consistency will be tested heavily in this upcoming stretch, and it's not just about effort, it's about execution at a championship level. The Dubs' ability to stay disciplined through rotations, communicate on every switch, and limit second-chance points will determine if this defensive surge is sustainable or just temporary. Against the Clippers, the rotations were seamless. Every time Kawhi or Harden thought they had a mismatch, a secondary defender was there to stunt or rotate early, forcing contested mid-range jumpers and late-clock heaves. That type of discipline is what Golden State needs to replicate night after night. What's made this version of the Warriors unique, though, is their renewed commitment to details that don't appear in the box score. Things like tagging rollers early, showing at the nail to take away driving lanes, and recovering with precision when the ball swings around the perimeter. Draymond Green continues to serve as the defensive quarterback, reading the floor in real time and calling out assignments before the play even develops. Meanwhile, Al Horford's veteran instincts and calm presence have blended perfectly with Draymond's intensity. The chemistry between the two has been one of the biggest surprises of the season. 2 brilliant defensive minds anticipating actions before they happen, creating a near impenetrable barrier when teams try to isolate or exploit mismatches inside. It's old school toughness meets modern versatility, and the Warriors have found a balance that works. But it's not just the veterans setting the tone. The youth movement has added a new layer of athleticism and energy that's been missing in recent years. Moses Moody's defensive evolution has been a revelation. His footwork, anticipation, and discipline have elevated him into a legitimate perimeter stopper. He's contesting shots without fouling, fighting through screens, and showing a poise defensively well beyond his years. Jonathan Kuminga, meanwhile, continues to showcase why he's such a matchup nightmare for opposing wings. His ability to guard 1 through 4, switch onto elite scores, and recover in transition makes him invaluable in Kerr's scheme. And then there's Quentin Post, who's quietly becoming one of the most reliable young bigs in the Western Conference. His timing as a shot blocker, combined with his improved mobility in space, has allowed Steve Kerr to trust him during critical stretches. Post's willingness to absorb contact, hold verticality, plus the tier drives without fouling has stabilized both the starting five and the second unit, depending on where he's playing. Together, these young guns are infusing the defense with energy, hunger, and confidence, complementing the veterans' IQ-driven approach. The balance between experience and youth has given the Dubs one of the deepest defensive units in basketball. Still, the biggest test for this defense lies just ahead. A gauntlet of elite offensive superstars who can pick apart even the best units if communication or discipline wavers for a split second. When you're facing the likes of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Devin Booker, and Victor Wembanyama, all in the span of 2 weeks, there's no room for error. These are the kinds of players who feast on defensive lapses, who force rotations to collapse and expose any lack of cohesion. Golden State can't afford to rely solely on energy and effort. They'll need precision. That means minimizing early fouls, contesting without overcommitting, and maintaining paint integrity while still recovering to shooters. Kerr has been preaching this theme repeatedly in practice: controlled chaos. The Warriors thrive when they can create havoc without sacrificing structure. When Curry, Draymond, Butler, and Horford are all locked in and communicating, it's a masterclass in timing and anticipation. The key will be sustaining that over long road trips, in hostile environments, and on back-to-backs when legs get heavy. The schedule is brutal, but if they can hold their defensive rating within the top 10 by the end of this stretch, it would mark a legitimate turning point for this roster. Proof that this iteration of the Warriors isn't just living off past glory, but forging a new defensive identity built to last. And through it all, Stephen Curry remains the heartbeat of this team, not just offensively, but as the emotional and spiritual anchor. His leadership by example has been invaluable. When your 37-year-old superstar is diving for loose balls, sprinting back to contest fast breaks, and rotating like a rookie fighting for minutes, it sets a tone that no pep talk can replicate. Every time Curry gets a stop, whether it's a blocked layup or a strip in the lane, the energy in the building shifts. His defensive effort has inspired the rest of the roster to match his intensity. You can see it in the way the bench reacts to every stop. The clapping, the shouting, the collective buy-in. It's contagious. Players like Brandon Podziemski and Gary Payton II have fed off that energy, turning defense into instant offense, sparking transition runs that define Warriors basketball at its best. And even though Curry's offensive brilliance still headlines the highlight reels, it's his defensive dedication at this stage of his career that truly encapsulates the Warriors' culture. If this team continues to play with that kind of unity, discipline, and collective purpose, they won't just survive the next few weeks. They'll send a message to the entire league. Golden State's dynasty may have evolved, but it's far from over.